Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here again with me for another episode. If this is your first time, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this helps you. We're talking about emotional health, things that we actually don't enjoy talking about because it means looking inside. It means addressing some of those things on the inside that we're like, nobody actually come close, nobody see me not see me, like that's what emotional health is like for some people. But I want to take out the taboo out of dealing with our emotional health. I want to make it easy. I do make it easy. I do make it fun. I make it accessible. Being healthy, emotionally healthy is so necessary. And some things are actually more easier than we think they are. And yeah, so this is why we're here. This is why we do this. We want to be people that contribute to this earth and contribute to our lives in a very meaningful way. And in order to do that, we have to be content with ourselves, right? And so this is why we are here today. I want to talk about who are you? Who am I? A lot of us don't actually spend time looking at ourselves and understanding who we are and knowing that who we are is actually perfect. And when I say perfect, I don't mean that we are these perfect human beings who never make mistakes, who never have bad experiences happen to us, who are just floating through this life and everything wonderful is going on. No, that's not what I mean perfect. I mean perfect in the sense that when you were created perfect. Everything about you has the potential to live up to that perfection that you were created to live up to. And also, perfection is not external, it is 100% internal. And we need to give ourselves the space, the love, the acceptance to come to that place. And yeah, I just really want to talk about that a little bit more. Many of us are living out of an identity of who we want to be, and those values and aspirations of being a better person, a better husband or wife, a better friend, a better person at work. But we are not those better people. And it's good to have aspirations. It's good to want to do better. But actually, we are those people that we are right now, sans the better. And some of us really reject that part of ourselves that is not aspirational. And I want us to be okay with who we are as we are. Let me start this off by saying you are enough. In fact, you are more than enough. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are desirable as you are, with all your faults, all your ticks, all your misgivings, all your failures. You are desirable. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are accepted. You are important. I know for some of us, hearing those things, it's like, no, that is a lie. That is not truth. And I struggled with that. I struggled with believing that I was accepted. I struggled with believing I was loved. I struggled and still sometimes struggle with believing that I have value and I'm worthy to be loved and accepted for who I am. But as I go on this journey and accept myself, I'm seeing that, hey, this girl was wrong. And if no one else loves me and values me and thinks I'm worthy, I don't mind, because I love myself and I value myself and I think I'm worthy, and I'm starting to do those things for myself that show myself that I am important, show myself that I'm worthy, that I'm loved, I am accepted, and it's great. Although I would love more people to start doing those things for me, but it's not a must. And I would love that one person to come along and be like, hey, you are so worthy of my love, in that deep, manly, hunky voice. But anyway, I digress. This is not what this is about. This is about who you and me is. For me, most of my story is me knowing that others are valuable, me knowing that others are worthy. And I spent a lot of my time and my life, 30 years of my life, doing and proving. Though I did all of these things for others, sacrificed for others, I worked hard for others, served hard. Like, I've been in church my whole life, and I was that girl, somebody can call me up anytime and I'd be there serving. And it was just a cry in my heart to be like, I'm serving, don't you find me worthy? I'm serving, don't you find me acceptable? I'm showing up for you, don't you love me? And like, no. it didn't translate exactly as I wanted to translate, and I know a lot of our experiences don't translate as much as we want them to translate. Like, we will not find love and acceptance and desirability and all of those things externally in the world. We'll find them, but it's not going to tick those boxes that we need in our heart. And this is why it's important to look at yourself and see who you are and love who you are and think you are valuable. I hope you're just finding encouragement in my story and in my desires. Like, I really did want others to see how hard I was working for them and give me the validation that I was supposed to give myself and give me the validation I've always desired. And eventually somebody taught me, and now I'm going to teach you, that you can find yourself and accept yourself for who you are, because that is who you are. And you are all those things I mentioned. Like, go back, rewind. I don't know what time it was, but rewind and let those words wash over you. And if you don't believe them, it's okay, but that is the truth. I'm telling you, you are enough. That is the truth. Whether you believe it or not, there are some fundamental principles in this world that will remain true regardless of how we relate to them. Like, we cannot believe in gravity, but the point is, and the fact is, gravity exists. I am sitting here. We are all walking on this earth because of gravity. We can choose not to believe it, but it doesn't change that it's not true. And that's the principle of that, the fact that you are enough. And I'll tell you in a little bit why it is fact. So stick around just a little bit longer. I know some of this stuff is difficult for you and for some of us to accept and to actually sit through and acknowledge. Like, we've been rejecting ourselves for so long. We've been beating ourselves for so long. But we can't expect other people to heal what we are not willing to heal on our own house. Like, you are trying to get somebody else to love you and approve you and all of those things that you have to figure out and sort out in your own life, because that's the only way you're going to learn to truly receive somebody's love for you. Like, somebody's going to come along who loves you and adores you. If you're still rejecting yourself, you're not going to receive what they're trying to give you. And that's BS. Like, no matter how much we try to convince ourselves that we will receive it when somebody comes along, I guarantee you're going to sabotage yourself when the perfect person comes along, and you're going to tell yourself and them that they are not the perfect person for you. And that is something that you are able to fix for yourself. Yeah, just stick with me. This is going to be really, really, really good. And, this concept took me a long time to accept, but that was just me. I had a lot of, not garbage, but baggage that I had to deal with, things that I had to come to terms with in this world, and a lot of truth that I had to accept in my life. I had believed so many lies for majority of my life that I had to really, really work hard to believe the truth. And I want to encourage you, like, this is truth. This is real for each and every single person in this world, so don't reject it. Receive it with open arms, receive it with open heart, and realize that you are enough. You are loved, you are accepted. Who am I, and how do I know who I am, and where do I go to find the answers about who am I? Like, I'm 32. Shouldn't I know these things by now? But no, I don't. I'm just discovering. So let's go on this quick journey. 3 things. Who am I? So 1, I was or am created from love. So I believe in God, and the most beautiful thing about God and me and my relationship with Him is He desired to love me. And so that's why He created me, and that's why He created you. He desired to love you. This is not something that we hear a lot, but this is something that I've come to see and believe in His Word. Like, He just wants to have a relationship with us. He just wants to lavish His love on us. He just wants to show us just how valuable you and I are. Like, if we allow ourselves to receive that concept, it is one of the most life-giving concepts we can ever receive. Like, look at your life, and if you have people in your life that love you, how much does that love fuel you in your day? How much does it fuel you to do things, to go about, to achieve things, to do the impossible? And that's what the possibility of God's love in our lives. And also, the best thing is that before I even do a thing, God loved me. Before I even open my mouth, before I even work, God loves me. So I now don't have to prove that I'm worth loving and go and do a million things and say, hey, God, look at all these million things. Do you love me? No. He's like, fantastic, you did all of those things. But even if you didn't do any of those things, I still love you. I just want that to sink in for a little bit. Like, God loves us. So that means we're not trying to find acceptance or approval or any of those things. We don't have to do any of those things in our lives. We just have to live and know that no matter what we do, we're loved. That is such a beautiful concept, and I hope you understand that that's been so life-changing for me. As I mentioned from the beginning, it really has transformed the way I do things. Now I no longer worry as much whether I'm doing it right or wrong. Like, it doesn't matter. The fact is I'm doing it and that's wonderful, and I get to enjoy what I'm doing because I'm already approved. I'm not doing it now to get approval. I know I'm already approved, so I'm just doing it because I get to do. And that leads into my second point. So the first thing is, I was and you were and am created from love. And so the second thing is, because we were created from love and because of the way God designed us, like, our lives have inherent purpose. Like, a lot of us wake up in the morning feeling purposeless, and that is a reality. That is why a lot of us are struggling with mental health. That is why a lot of us are struggling with depression and anxieties, because we don't know that our lives have purpose already inbuilt, and we don't know that we're just allowed to go and discover this purpose. Unfortunately, life has so many things that it throws at us that derail us, and so now we're focused on all of these things, trying to prove ourselves in life, trying to figure out, was I supposed to be a lawyer, was I supposed to be a doctor, why didn't I become an accountant, like these whatever. But there's so much in life that we can do and that we're supposed to do and supposed to be. We get to just be those things we were created to be. But here we are trying to put all of these external things on ourselves because that is what society currently says is going to make us who we are, and that is a lie. That is an absolute lie. Like, you were created to be who you are inherently, and if that is creative, then go after that. There is favor and grace on your creativity, but you have to work for it. If it is book smart and doctor smart and engineer smart, like, go for that. That is who you were created to be. If it is being a mom, like, go for that. That is who you were created to be. If it was being a chef, like, there's so many things in this world. We don't have to box ourselves in, but society tells us we will only succeed if we do those things that society tells us to do, and that is a lie. Like, look at history, look at the whole gamut of earth. Like, there are so many things that we can do and be, and we need each and every one of those things. Like, we need you to be an artist, we need you to be an artisan, like to use your hands to fix things, to create things, build things. So we need you. We need those people who are accountants. We need those doctors. We need lawyers. Like, there is nothing that we don't need in this earth. We need each other. So we should stop looking down upon things because somebody said that is not who, or not a glamorous profession. Like, stop it already. Like, if that is who you are, go for it. You were created with purpose, and that is your purpose, so discover it. And like, I'm on this beautiful journey. I thought I was supposed to be whatever. I'm really smart, but I'm also really creative. And I thought I was supposed to be someone else. My parents thought I was supposed to be someone else. And guys, I was never meant to be that person my parents thought I was supposed to be. And then I took that on and thought I was supposed to be that person. Like, clearly I was not supposed to be there. I'm 32 and still discovering life and who I'm supposed to be and when I'm supposed to be in this world. And I'm grateful that I get to do this journey the way I get to do it. I struggled for a while because I was like, oh, I'm supposed to fit in this box and I can't fit in. Like, I was trying to stuff myself into it. I was doing the most, like working the hardest. It just wasn't me. And that's the thing. Like, so many of us are looking at somebody else's purpose, at the purposes that were handed down to us, and that is not necessarily our purpose. Maybe it is, that for me it wasn't my purpose, and now I'm discovering my purpose, and I'm loving life, discovering my purpose. I am enjoying life. And so I encourage you, like, keep your 9 to 5, because we need to pay bills, we need to adult, we need to do all of those good things in life that contribute to life, but then go after that dream of yours. It is attainable. It is your purpose. Like, talk to people. Your purpose is not something that is out. I mean, it's meant to be discovered, and it will keep evolving. It will keep changing as you go through the different stages of your life. And yes, there are stages in your life. Don't be fooled. You are not the same person you were when you were 20, when you're 30, when you're 40, when you're 50. You're not the same person. You change and you evolve, and your purpose evolves as you evolve. So evolve and allow yourself to evolve and explore and enjoy life. Have fun. Like, life was meant to be lived. Stop boxing yourself into boxes that you're never meant to fit in. So number 2, your life has purpose. Guys, I feel strongly about that one. And the last thing is, who we are is not based on what we put on, but what lies inside already. And I spoke a lot about that in number 2, like, your life has purpose. Because, like, number 1, you were created from love. You were created very specific. You are meant to be on this earth. I hope you know that. And so that design, like your design, there's all sorts of things inside of us that we never take the time to discover and understand who we are inside. Like, God was not crazy when He created us. He was very purposeful. And so you already come with inbuilt things, but we try to look like the world and put things on us. Like, in the morning we wake up, like, when we're putting on clothes, we put on our personality. We put on the things we want people to like us for, you know. And then when we come home after a long day, we take all of those things off, and then we spend time with whoever we are truly. And that's not who we were meant to be. We were meant to be consistent in every part of our lives. Let me tell you something about you putting on a persona and taking it off in the evening. Like, people don't ever get to like you and appreciate you for who you truly are. They're actually liking the fake version of you, which means you're not really liked for who you are. And that's just sad. Like, who you are is so wonderful, and if you just let him or her shine, I tell you, just shine. Like, not even trying to prove anything, just trying to be in life. I tell you, like, you'll enjoy yourself, and that's the best part about life, is you enjoying yourself. I used to want to be more street savvy, more hip, more put together, like this girl who is great at relationships. And let me tell you, I'm good at relationships, but I'm not hip. Like, you know, street hip or whatever that hip is out in the world. I'm not those people. I miss the memo on fashion all the time. I don't even know what trends are out there. Like, my friends will talk to me about pop culture and tell me about, like, Black is King, and I'm like, oh, let me go and Google that quick, because I love Beyonce. But then if they tell me about, do I even know, like, those hip-hop stars? Guys, I don't know any of that stuff, and I'm laughing at myself. I used to, like, hate myself for not knowing those things, and I used to just beat myself up and be like, oh, why can't I be more cool? Why can't I be more hip? That's not who I am, and I love who I am. If you don't love who I am because I can't talk about the latest album that Jay-Z dropped, oh well, that's okay. There are people out there who will talk about it to me and tell me about it, you know? And I'll just go find those people. And then there are people we can talk about other stuff with. And that's the beauty of life. We're not so boxed into, like, these cultural things. Like, everybody's so different, and we need to allow ourselves to be different, and we need to allow others to be different, and then we need to find a confluence and come together somehow. And the more you love yourself, the more you accept yourself. It's so easy to accept others, and others for what they bring to the table and what they don't bring to the table. Like, what we don't bring to the table is inconsequential at the end of the day, because we all bring so much more to the table. So, you know, stop trying to be who you are not. That was, like, something I had to work on the past few years of my life, to stop trying to pretend that I am this girl that I'm not. I'm better than I'm not. Like, that's not who I am, and that's okay. I love myself, and people love me, and God loves me. And that's all I can ask at the end of the day. There's just 3 things to remember. The first one is we were created from love, so we don't have to work for love. The second thing is your life has purpose. Like, you have purpose, so wake up and find that purpose and have fun trying to find that purpose. And the third thing is, don't live according to a persona that you put on in the morning and take off at night. Like, be who you were truly meant to be and let people love you for that. Like, yeah, some people will reject you, but guess what? You just weeded out some weeds that didn't need to be in your life. There's so much out there in this world that we are stopping ourselves from experiencing when we don't love ourselves, when we don't know that we have purpose, and when we're trying to be who we're not. So be who you are. You are beautiful. You are more than enough. And tell yourself that every day, especially when you feel like you're not enough. Tell yourself that. And yeah, I hope that this really helped you. I really had fun doing this one today. And yeah, have a great time implementing some of these things in your life and thinking through some of these things in your life. And as always, like this video, share it, put some things in the comments. I just want to hear what you think about, what you're thinking about, if this is helpful, if you have questions. Yeah, I'm here. So love you guys so much. You are fabulous.